Welcome back everybody to the to City Skylines 2! The pre-order trailer is out! And so we are watching it here and reacting. All footage captured in game, so let's not waste time with any intros. Let's go. First picture is Interchange. And the first thing that caught my eye was right here. So unfortunately, the first thing was a little bit of a bad news. I was like, there's a little weirdness with the colors, so we're still gonna have some jank. And now that I have it in high quality and not looking at my phone, there is some wrinkles there. So I'm wondering, are we still gonna have, it's a different kind of wrinkle, but terrain is still gonna wrinkle our roads a little bit. We also have the lines here that don't seem to quite match up, and a crosswalk, out of place crosswalk. Now I do see some justification in the game's thinking where it's a crosswalk, because this is a normal road. This is not a highway, and you even see it has tram tracks on the sides. So I guess this road is generating the crosswalks, but this road is definitely the ramp. So I don't know why you would have a crosswalk there. And the lines not matching up is kind of unfortunate, unless that's normal in some other country. I personally just haven't seen it or don't recognize that. It's good to see a lot of the markings go through junctions now, but definitely hoping there's room for editing. We're also seeing that same kind of idea of at least default, I guess, stuff right on the ground has no walls, but the elevated stuff either has, I'm guessing these are safety walls actually, because we get to see sound barriers later and they look a lot more prominent, a lot taller. And there's a difference with this here too, which looks a lot thicker. So I'm guessing this is a retaining wall. It would be really cool if this was actually automatically generated, because it just detects the ground being like, I don't know, just really severely deformed. Again, I also hope that there's ways to edit that manually. Speaking of the terrain though, I also catch this right here. So this is very much like what we have in the current game. And there's another example of it actually on this side, elevated here, but the terrain gets raised pretty harshly. I can only hope that we can edit terrain after the fact and smooth that out a little bit more nicely than what you could in the current game. And since we're in this area, I also want to point out the trees is really interesting. Like, I don't know if it's just a randomization thing that we're gonna have some treeless trees, like just dead trees, or if there's even a life cycle to them, because we have this spot right here that seems like they're a lot smaller. They're leafless, but I'm kind of hoping for, you know, a little bit of season influence. So maybe just coming off of winter or something. I don't know. Seeing some janky shadows. That kind of concerns me a bit. Last thing to look at is these vehicles here. The black made me think of hearses, but maybe they're just delivery vans. Right here in the bottom corner. But look at these guys right here. What are they doing? What is that? It reminds me of that weird crawling, slow, like, I'm invisible, I'm not doing anything, no one look at me, that the parking cars do, and they're like in sync. It's just kind of creepy. You know, it's like when you see like two cats or two dogs doing stuff in sync. It's like, what are they doing? Alright, so it looks like random weird AI and confused vehicles might still be a thing. Now here's our first look at the whole city scene. It's cool to see that we have some of our zone buildings for sure, because these are about the same, and we were seeing some with solar panels. The thing that I was looking at here was really the variety, and I'm kind of on the conclusion that it's about the same average variety that we have in the current game. Even with this small area, we can already recognize buildings that are repeated, especially over here. Like this block of a building, I'm pretty sure it's here like 4 or 5 times, but the other ones I'm not seeing as many repeats of those. Like, and also we see here that definitely we're not having much automatic filling. Like, this is fairly close to the rail tracks, and we're not getting that pavement stretch all the way to there. I think they know we want this, right? Like with the update, the last update, they added that, forgot what they called it, but it's just apron, but it's just pavement. It's just basic surface painter in vanilla. So I'm still hoping we can have some of that. Otherwise, not really much to see here, except for that the railroad crossing is very white. It looks painted, but we're gonna see that better in the next picture anyway. Looks like we've got some water treatment, we've got some boats around, and some of this is really cool. So we have a key, but look at this part right here. Here we don't have a key. And yet it looks like we have a building almost up to the water, and about the same thing on this side. I'm really excited for that, because in all the previous city building games, like, terrain always wants to be higher when you build next to the water. And even in City Skylines that happens. So I'm really glad it looks like we'll be able to build close to the water and the terrain's gonna stay where it is. So nice sky, nice, decent clouds. It's I actually didn't see this before. Definitely got a bit of a pattern. I mean, you can have clouds like this in real life, but I don't think you should pick the one type of real life cloud that most looks like a video game, you know? I would prefer something that's a little bit wispy or a little more randomized. Alright, alright. This is a great shot here. Textures of the buildings and the trees also looking much better. Just shadows. There's just a lot more depth to them. A lot more 3D-ness to this. And there's no ruining alongside the roads. I think we've been seeing that fairly consistently now. No ruining along the networks, which I guess is pretty good. I've never really minded ruining much, but oh well, I don't think this looks bad either. This hedge though, come on. This hedge needs to be better. This point right here that makes it look like maybe there's some leafiness to it, but for the most part it looks like just a simple model with the texture on it, so not happy about that. Here's that crossing again. I don't know, maybe this is normal in another country, but I do not see the stuff like that in America. This will be more obvious later, I guess. This looks to be a special kind of intersection, and you'll see why later. Oh, speaking of building textures, I love this one right here. Look at this house back here. Beautiful. Oh, we got a road bridge with arches back there, and here there's something going on. Looks like there's some sort of covering. You can see the rails crossing here. There might be. I'm kind of excited. It looks like we might have super slim kind of train stations, like a super slim minimalistic rural train station all the way up to like, you know, a serious professional one. Oh, we're seeing Sims walking. How do they look? Well, for that speed, I guess the walk is a lot more natural. Another shot of a small roundabout area. Very nice. We see the tracks going through. Everything seems to blend and curve into each other really well. We have a parking lot over here, which I don't know if it's something plopped or if it's part of this building asset, which I'm gonna assume is like a university. And oh, we have motorcycles. Okay, looks like there's a motorcycle there. And the vehicles too, definitely a little bit scaled up in quality. So there's a lot more detail of this truck that I like. And there's another, the same delivery truck. I guess I missed it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then again, looking at the building variety, it feels about the same as what we have now. So I don't know what this is. Is there like, is that a pond? It's very reflective. I don't know what that is. All right, now this is the one that, it looks good when you first take a look at it, but you think about it more and the more I have trouble with it. So it's definitely better than some of the really simplistic lighting we have in Skylines, especially back in like when After Dark first came out, right? The lights are more textured, varying shadows and stuff that really makes it look like they're people standing there or equipment or desks or something. But I feel like it still generally has that same vibe of just like these overlit buildings where like where I have my mouse right now. It's like that whole floor is that's just one big room. I really think I would like something more like this one right here. This building looks a little bit more natural, I think. How many floors is that? Like, that's not... So the scale, something looks really weird with the scale here. And the most egregious building of all is this one right here. Like, that one's just... It's a mash of gold bars. Spam of lights. Alien artifact. This one's good, though. I like, this should be more like this one. Same Aurora Borealis. So we're still getting that at night. That's cool. Aurora Borealis, no matter where you are. Aurora Borealis, no matter where you are. Now this is kind of interesting though, because it looks like it might be sunset, but we still have lights on. So it's definitely close to the night cycle because all the lights are on. But you'll see in other scenes where like it looks like you'll also have lights in the daytime. Really interesting buildings here. Don't know what they are. Some sort of plaza thing. It looks a lot like the plaza for the conference center building in New Waylie. So actually, you ripping me off, CO? Ripping off a small timer like me? I don't know what this building is, but I'm interested. This is an awesome look. This is an awesome view. Now we get to the UI stuff. The UI stuff, pretty cool. Okay, not so cool here. This looks like exactly the same as what we have now, but with a little bit of the the extra landscaping tools and other kind of forest brush, all these kind of modded, just some of the basic functionality that we really like, right? Like more customizable brush size, brush strength instead of just the 3 options that we have now. Good, okay, very nice. But still, only up and down, flat and flatten, smoothing and slope. I really wish there was at least a randomization to it. Maybe not perfectly flat, I mean not a perfectly straight slope. Otherwise it looks a lot like what we have now, where it looks like paths are in the same kind of tab, and then you have the flora. Here's where we see our road option, and the first thing I see is another kind of curved or freeform mode, and we don't see that in the rest of the trailer. We don't actually see it used, so still up to us to guess what that might mean. Straight, curved, and then maybe this is like the current tool that we have, and this is just a lot more freeform. And then we have grid mode, and then I don't know what that would be. You draw an edge first, and then you expand, and then as you would expect, it expands up to its maximum kind of zoning zoning size, and then once it passes that, it adds another level of roads and stuff, and then boom, there you go. All the zones are shown, and as you see, maxed out to so you have the spaces completely filled in. Was really curious is look at this. See this? Roads have pipes. Pipes are under the roads. They are now attached to the roads. You don't have to build them yourself. Lovely. It looks like, I'm guessing it's, you have the blue, so it has to be water. You have your heating, and then the other one's brown, so I'm guessing that's sewage. We also have power was included, but I mean, you also need above ground power, you know, so maybe not. And then look at this. We'll see this later, but it looks like bridges are a separate kind of thing. It's not part of the elevations. Very curious. And the snapping is also really curious. Like, what is this? Snap to building zones? But then you have grid, angle. I don't know what this is. To node, or is this node, or is this everything? This should be everything, right? I don't know. But then what's this? Do we still have road length? And then what's this? That's grid, maybe. I don't know. It's just, can only guess. Looks like we're in American mode here or something, and there's one of the yellow lines. So I'm not really sure what we're seeing here. We have roads here, and then these two tabs, I don't know what they are. Maybe with trams? No, because that would be transportation, right? Unless it's like, could it be shoulder and parking? And then you have highway, intersection, roundabout? Then there's another parking, could be parking lots? Now this is really cool. So we're in the freeform mode, so which I'm guessing is again like what we have now. And yes, no more having to stop at existing roads. You can drop past the road, and once you set it down, it will automatically make the intersection. Yes, thank you. No more ruining my groove kind of thing. The design of the roads I think are a little weird. Like, I feel like the main lane part is so bright. Shouldn't the most worn down part be dark? So I don't know. But it's nice to see here that they're giving you a lot of different types of information. And there's elevation too. You'll see it later, but you can finally tell 100% sure if you're building flat or not. Now here we have a nice showcase of a few of the basic roads and nature. I'm going to start with nature. So the water, I'm loving the water. Definitely an upland, an upgrade. We got more froth, more foam. I'm hoping that the calmer waters won't have that though. I'm hoping there's variety. The same basic idea again with with natural stuff, your rocks, your bushes, your trees, and the vegetation. We got the vegetation. So they look like they're all the same size though. I'm hoping we have at least the two sizes and variety as we have in the current game. Roads. Roads. Look at this. Here we have the one with trees, and even partially without trees. Like, that's interesting. That's really cool. Looks like you can have asymmetrical roads with trees, you know, only have trees on one side. But we also have asymmetrical roads. Here they are. Here it is asymmetrical the whole way, and then here it switches. Here we have a 4-lane, 2 lanes. But looking over here on the right, this is cool. Yes, so the junction is a little jank, but one side is aligned. Because the especially important thing about this is when you upgrade your roads and you already have stuff built, it's always annoying when both sides have to get uprooted and rezoned. But at least here, I'm hoping if you upgrade, you can also kind of like make it edge alignment. But you know, even if it's just when you're drawing it first, it's awesome to be able to switch between the narrow roads and the wider roads and have them edge aligned. That's so nice to see. Then this gets filled in, and there are actually some modifications to the roads. This became a double road, more like an avenue. So these are one ways now. And then here, this intersection, we have an intersection, and it splits up even wider into highways. A lot of the lanes go through. Markings are there, and even pavement, which is really cool to see. Pavement all the way back there, really good to see. No glitching, awesome to see. Oh yeah, here's warehousing. So this is probably industry. Don't think they're plopped. I'm guessing they're zoned. Can't really recognize or guess what anything is except for that one. There's our, looks like log storage. And that looks like exactly the same small warehouse we have now. Row houses here, which is really cool. And not to mention that the backyards look a lot more detailed. And the buildings, the commercial buildings or offices, a lot more reserved when it comes to all the signs. So even in broad daylight, they got some lights on. Good, they should, but they're all so orange and so bright. That's a bit too much. But whatever, better to have it than not. More parking lots here, although they could be part of an asset, not sure. Here's that really nice and interesting kind of 4-part sort of building. I'm pretty sure it's just one asset, but I'll be looking out for that one. I really like that one. This has really interesting parking. So this is, I mean, it could be a zone building as well, but just in general, parking is a little bit more interesting. There's a lot more variety in parking. Poppable parking. Here's a very simple one, just like in today's game. So a lot of good stuff to see here. A lot of good stuff we're seeing. Zoning stuff. Look at these options. Looks like the only one for low residential, but we have multiple ones for or the dense. So I guess it's like you can pick like small building density or combine them into big buildings. These differences, I don't know what this means. This is the same icon, but it just looks weird. There is a purple that seems to be offices. You'll see it later. But there's another kind of purple or magenta or whatever that's these signature buildings. There's a different color that's signature. I don't know what they are. I mean, it feels mixers. It feels for like mixed zones. I feel like they would call it that. So I don't know what this means. I can't really have a calculated guess on what this is, but the fact that there are options just makes me happy. It's always good to see options. Blue actually, which, well, maybe it's commercial. But here's the other thing. Look at this. Network color tells you residential suitability. Who knows what that's based on, but it's there. Terrain color tells you the ground pollution. So, finally also getting multiple info views in one, and you can have more than two. You'll see them later. So cool to see that we have merged info views, because this makes so much sense. So many times I've been wanting to plop something and I actually need to get information from different info views. Now you can see them. Good. And look at this theme as well. We got an American theme, specifically the colonies theme. So pre-Revolutionary War. And the buildings are just like materializing in. They're just like being teleported in. So I mean, can you turn off construction? I don't know. See, so office buildings are purple, but there's a more magenta kind of color, which is the signature buildings. Who knows what that is? And here's some incomplete roads. So same kind of behavior as we see now, the rounded edge. Not much else to see here, I think, other than, again, two types of office buildings to pick from. And there's another one. What is that? I actually didn't see this the first time. I saw it, but I didn't pay attention to it. It almost looks like an arrow coming out of the small building, but that's not very arrowish, is it? I don't know. I can't guess what it is. I just don't know what that is. All right, some building, road building. Zones are still going to behave the same way as you see, trying to make straight lines, not flush to the road. This is cool. I think it might be good. It's kind of hard to think about ahead of time, but we do get a shadow of the road, so sometimes it's hard to see. Yes. A lot of times it is hard to see exactly where you're drawing, especially, that's why I have to go into 2D mode so much, you know, like look straight vertically down. But if I can build in this angle with a shadow, the shadow can tell me exactly where I am in a 2D sense, so that is good. I'm happy with that. And we have this safety barrier kind of icon. I'm guessing that's the no connection kind of thing. Probably still here because that's where we just hooked it up, and then because once you hook it up, it disappears. So that pillar is really close. Nice to see that there's no conflict there, but you do see that the same warnings exist for sure. But sound barrier, and you see, it looks like there's a retaining wall. So there's both, and they're looking pretty good. Okay, so we can see more options for the bridge stuff. 1 lane, 2 lane, 3 lane, 4 lane. So again, it looks like bridges are different types of roads. They're not going to be the same asset anymore, which is a little concerning for the asset making. Like, it's not going to be an elevation anymore. Nice flyby. You can get a better look at the textures of the building. It's really cool. And here's the parallel modes and the bridge. So again, it's a separate selection. Interesting. It really looks like it's a separate asset. Parallel mode is on, so you can draw straight out from there. And oh, and also look at this. We got concrete under, so we can do that now. I don't know how. I don't see any options for that here, but it's doable. Stretch this out, pretty much behaves as you would expect, and you can kind of see that there are some of the same errors that we have today. So it looks like that's an on water kind of thing. And right here, elevation too low, distance too short. So we're still getting distance too short. We're still gonna have that kind of complaint. Still wish there was a move it involved here. Wait, there's another icon here. What is that icon? I didn't see that one before. Interesting. Next, now this is pretty cool. I never really played, I think, a city game with upgrades, so I have no feelings about it. But I think it's a cool idea, and a lot of people have been asking for it. And you can see it's happening right here. Here we are at a university. A lot of the same kind of stats that we have now. You have ways to extend it. I guess you click on it, whatever. You get this info kind of box, and then you have upgrade options. So you get whatever the option that is, an extension wing, and a person lying down. And that's what it looks like to me. There's the head, the arm, the leg. But here's the cool thing. So this whole thing is the university grounds with the parking lot and these park areas. And you just put the extension over them. Oh, so maybe that's why the different colors are here. So all the blue stuff might be eligible areas for replacement. So you can build that wing, I'm hoping, in any one of these spots. That's pretty cool. And by the way, it looks like we're still going to have a bunch of people cramming and ramming and bumping and just jamming up them transport stops. So Gonna have all the people going there. Not much to see here actually because it's really hard to see with the info view, but you can definitely see the office buildings are in fact purple. Full residential area here, but this is where you can clearly see roundabouts are their own intersection. They're a special intersection. Those are small roundabouts. So that is not a single lane or 2-lane whatever wrapping around the circle. So, very nice. Same kind of zoning clashes, but I'm hoping we have the, you know, zoning adjustment stuff. And this is actually really cool. Look at this. This is police, and there are different options for police buildings. Look at this down here. Snapping. We can turn off road snapping. I wonder what that means. Does that mean we can finally push a building slightly off the road, away from the road? I'll be very, very happy if that's true. There's an overpass intersection. This merge here looks really good, except for something that looks like a glitch. I don't know what those are, but it looks good. And you know what else looks good? The pancakes. The pancakes. Looks like they're missing pancakes, guys. These guys, they need their pancakes. So now we know there's a pancake indicator, so that you know the level of pancakeness and cakiness and honeyness and syrup. Now this is one of the most intriguing scenes of the whole trailer. We're obviously popping down a Tram Depot and all the normal options here. You know, tram stop, tram lines. What are these icons? It looks like a merging kind of icon, and there's this other one which I don't know what it means. But look here. Those icons flash on and off, and you can see a slight move in certain edges, something about the track. So even though it looks like this is part of the plopped depot asset, it looks like you can modify the tracks. So this is kind of like the whole you know, touch this kind of mod or and stuff. Like looks like you can edit the networks within assets out of the box. Oh yeah, that sounds really nice. And speaking of really nice, these highways, again, look how close they are to each other, and so perfectly done, most likely with the parallel tool. And this, I didn't see how the lanes are turning here. Like, is this a toll? What kind of road is this for you to, I don't know, that's really interesting. Downvotes, a lot of downvotes here. I'm not sure what that's about. Disgruntled people. And then if you get some pancakes, these guys need pancakes. Guys, come on, give them them flapjacks. But we got a view of the info view again. I don't think there's anything too new here. Just looks nicer, I guess. Anyway, at this point, I actually do have the recording for this. So, this second stream, I'm gonna stop right here. Thanks everyone. I hope there are more options for colors, like save the color or whatever, make our own templates, something like that. This is the university, isn't it? Yeah, this is the same area. This is all in roughly the same area. Alright, you make it yours. This big building going up. Can't really see much around here. Got another nice big parking lot there. Oh, I love that building. Look at that. The detail on that one is pretty nice. Much more parking, guys. There's a lot more parking, I think. Or it just looks better. I don't know. I mean, that could definitely be part of the zone buildings. But oh, look at this. So these roads are different. So these could be a different styling of roads. Much more clearly demarcated shoulder or parking. Yeah, and there's the different line before the crosswalk. Hey, here's a first look at a median road with trees. Some of these buildings do look pretty good. This is a nice shot. I like this. I like this view a lot. That's an empty lot right there, completely empty lot. But obviously, right now with the shadow and everything, like it still looks good, you know. Like this is the kind of lighting that this is like almost too bright, right? But this kind of lighting is that's the kind of lighting you really like to see in games because it looks so realistic. All right, what do we have here? Same stuff that we have now. Whoa, what are all these on the left side? Oh, these could be your like. I wonder if these are the households that you follow, like your favorites list. Unless it's part of the info view of this building, like the different households. Could be the different families in there, like family of 3, family of 2, family of 1, me, myself, and I. Okay, so that was still populating. Ooh, here we go. Upgrading our power plants. Additional turbine and large coal storage. Okay. Levels of pollution and stuff. I wonder if those can vary depending on could be policies or the upgrade. Like this, see? More efficient burn process, same power but less fuel. So that could potentially, I don't know, edit things here. So where's this gonna go? Ah, yeah, so you can get, there's the preview of the expansion. Okay, yeah, a lot of people have been wanting this. There's the pollution map. You can see air pollution in general, terrain, sources, traffic pollution, and wind speed. Yeah, so different info views at once. They do it by highlighting terrain, building, network, and another terrain one. Huh? Right, how do you have that overlap working? Well, I'm hoping the check mark means that you can turn them off or on. Look at this. What do we have here? That's a big train station. Could be even like a cargo one or something. Could this all be one asset? I hope you can customize that somehow. If this were all one asset, it looks like it ends right here. This is part of it, and that would be part of it. So it looks like the end is right here. That's our line. But this is definitely a zoned industry kind of area. A lot of random zoned industry buildings here. Actually, that looks like power relay station, doesn't it? Alright, here's that same neighborhood again. Got some different kind of plazas or paved areas. The houses look a lot nicer, a lot more fences and bushes. This intersection looks pretty nice. Junction, I guess I should say. Neighborhood looks great. And the thing is, it doesn't even look like it has much extra trees. Like, most of these trees, except for here and here, most of these trees look like they come from either the streets or the zone buildings themselves. Oh, looks nice. Bushes and trees there. Big sound barriers again. Kind of pointing the wrong way, I think. Guys, we just went into trippy high saturation mode. Oh, here it goes. Highlighting police. So yeah, these are info views. There we go. Police buildings versus prisons versus police cars. Okay. It's really good to see the combined info views like that. Probability and coverage are separate. That was always a little... like, some of these things, it can be a little concerning if it's extra mechanics, but even if they're not extra mechanics, just the fact that we can see them separately I think is really good. Because that always kind of confuses me. It's like police coverage just automatically assumes low crime probability. That's what all the games I've played, that's kind of how they work. But this shows that as two different types of information. Traffic flow. Famous traffic flow. By time. Okay. Pretty cool there. Man, there's something about these colors though. It's like a sorbet. I want some sorbet right now. I want some melon, lemonade, orange, mango. Not the papaya. I'm not into the papaya so much, but the mangoes I'll take. I'll take some mango. I mentioned this in one of my wish list kind of things. More guidance to the city building, making them realistic. So the fact that they're directly talking about arterial and collector roads, I mean, if it just ends there and it's just up to you to Google, it's still better than nothing. It's still talk up to the player, you know? Use the proper terms, mention them where possible, get people really thinking about city planning, and either they Google this stuff up, or again, in-game you have some sort of guidance. Traffic flow changed. Oh, there we go. Yes, you can turn them off and on. Yes, so you can switch between info views. Good. Natural resources. Ah, look at these cute icons. A little bit too cute, actually, but whatever. Forestry. What is this? So chickens, crops, cahuts. Okay, vegetables, grains, your trees. Just surely ore. And what is this? Maybe that's oil. Is this gems? Is this gems? Guys, are we gonna have the diamond industry in here now? Is this district specialization? I think it is. Specialized industry. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Oh, okay, once you hover it, you see where all the good stuff is. That looks like just is that just information? No, it's in this section for zoning, but the hover is like a circle. You can see the outline over here. There. It's all the way to here. I'm not sure what they're trying to click there. I'm not sure what the point is, but okay, very interesting. Next, this. I mean, they started the video too late. I wanted to see where this truck coming from. It's so big. Where's it coming from? Did they just spawn randomly again? Very clean buildings. Not sure you want that here, but oh well. Transition between the gravel and the normal roads. I mean, at least it has a little bit of blending. Graphics don't look too good in these kind of things, but it's alright. Details up there at least. But the trees look pretty nice. Whee! Okay, got some blur effects. That's kind of cool. Alright, here's another one for big overview. Oh my gosh, look at these soccer fields. Nice. Okay. Nice stadium there. So much to see here. Tunnels right alongside an overpass. Very cool to see. Really excited for that. Here are these overpasses as well. And they're overpasses with like walls in the sides. So that's also something that we've been missing. Some sort of unique building here, I'm sure. Can't really tell what it is. Maybe a harbor. It looks semi-fancy. Could be something for cruise ships. I really want to see where keys end. Here it seems like there's a key. It just stops there. I really want to see how they end though. Something interesting there. A lot of curves. I wonder if that's a unique building. Stands out, that orange one. Water looks pretty good at this range. Again, more soccer fields right here. Man, are they really that big, man? If so, it looks to me like they've paid a lot more attention to proper scaling here. Like we got a football field here, right? Right? That's football field, or multi-purpose field, I should say. Ferris wheel! And then the snow comes in. Alright. Trying to see there's how many levels of fading is on this. I'm looking at these buildings down here. It's a blend, so we're seeing... Hard to be impressed about this because it could be that every building has like it's a snowy model, but look at this right here. There's inconsistency to the snow, which is very interesting. Like all of this is like fully covered with snow, and pretty much as you would expect. Same over here, but here, is that just not done fading or something? No, there's some areas without much snow. Very interesting. Still looks nice. I think it looks pretty realistic. Except for the, are the trees getting snow on them? It really stick out like a sore thumb. Trees don't seem to have snow on them. That's a little weird. Railroads are looking really good. I mean, just in general, just the networks, how they connect, it looks like almost everything's gonna work now. The main concern is still, of course, overlapping and things like that. Now we're switching to the night mode. Really orange thing over here. The scale looks pretty decent. And that's it. That is it, guys. Now to wrap everything up, let's finish off with the Steam page, where we have the video that we just watched. Now this actually, I'm not actually gonna go over this because there's really nothing special or unique here. The only thing that caught my attention, sounds minor but it could be a big deal, is right here. More opportunities to build a truly groundbreaking city with mods. They are now more easily available in Cities Skylines 2. Easily available, so hopefully there's maybe that means there's something in the game integrated, like, or I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to speculate. Just great to hear that there's better support for modding. Now looking at the pictures, this is that same stone bridge that we saw, but look at this. Look at this reflection. Real reflections, guys. We're finally getting real reflections. So definitely something we've been hoping for. I remember I'd laugh at that when I would look into a building and back in my first city and I was like, wait, that's not my city. Here we have another info view. Population one, okay. Birth rate, death rate, moved in, moved away. Ah, okay. Very nice to see this all in one place. At least I don't think we have that normally, do we? I mean, to be fair, excuse me, I might get impressed by things that I don't actually normally pay attention to in the current game, so maybe I'm just forgetting that these things exist. But again, we can see that we have at least 2 info views that are related, so we can see citizen age by building, by looking at the building color, and then population density by looking at the terrain. New Dollarton. And oh my gosh, look at this. We got the full bars. So 3 residential, 1 commercial, 1 industry, 1 office, right? So really interesting that residential is split up into 3. Like, is that really necessary? For zoning, I mean, I know that we're used to, I guess from SimCity, you know, low, medium, and high residential, but as a demand kind of thing, that's really interesting. What's next? All right, we saw this picture before. There's that, again, overdone. Yeah, again, if it wasn't for the fact that there's light shining through the floors, like the literal floors and ceilings. Alright, we saw this one already. Okay, this is new. This road ends right here. You're connecting it to there. You're seeing the angle marking, 87 degrees, overlapping item, part of the building. And there's that symbol again. Alright, nothing else that catches my attention. Except for this, again, a reminder. So again, great to see. We can tell that the elevation is changing. No more of that drawing a road right next to the edge of a mountain or something and not being 100% sure whether or not you're actually staying flat or not. Next, ooh, okay, low shot. Look at this. This looks nice. Look at the detail on this building. Alright, CO, this is a great shot. Really showing off some of these graphics. This is nice. This is nice. Again, there's issues with these markings, that's for sure. Really hope that can get cleaned up, or there's just ways to fix that. Alright, but definitely a great shot. I feel like it's the exact same blue. Some of these things look exactly what we have right now. I don't know if that's just a Unity engine thing. Very nice shot here. I think we've seen this one. I don't remember seeing this stadium though. Looks like a different kind of... And last one, residential buildings, and again, a residential signature. What does it mean? What does that signature mean? That is the thing I'm most curious about. Again though, there's these gold kind of... Oh, could these be ones that you're following? Like your favorites? I think that'll be the most sense for an icon like that. And a lot more people want them pancakes. Alright, well, on that sweet note, we're done. Maybe that's why the logo looks like a pancake. Gosh, it all makes sense now, guys. There's a thing with pancakes here. Really cool to see the trailer come out. I'm actually a little bit weird. A little more excited seeing things like networks and the upgrades. A few little curious things that I can't really explain very well. And overall, it's looking really, really nice. But there's definitely aspects that seem the same as the current game, and there's a few little glitches. Certain things like some fairly simple merges, still having some jank to them. Some of the edges of terrain around the water, they seem to have very jagged edges, which was really, really odd. Not something I really want to see in the finished product. The zoning stuff is really intriguing, and there could be ways to fix the jank, because that, again, that Tram Depot, there was some funky shenanigans going on there. I really want to get to the bottom of that. Anyway, everybody, this is it. October 24th, that is the release date. Pre-order if that's what you want to do. I am most likely going to be waiting. I don't know, maybe I'll just go for it on release and start playing it. But you know what? I also have a 7-year-old computer here. I don't know if it can handle it. So there's a lot of questions about that. Definitely looking forward to whatever else comes out. Thanks for watching, and wherever you may be, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Or good night. Man, I forgot my own ending kind of spiel. What is this supposed to...